Hi there, Legacy Doctors. We're back with Dr. Miles Bodson here in San Diego, the owner and founder of Cash Practice, which we at Legacy feel is one of the most important tools for you to use in your practice to help build lifetime practice members. So in the last segment, we discussed really the idea and philosophy behind what prompted you to create Cash Practice. So I'd like you to tell a little bit more to our Legacy members. Really, why is Cash Practice the best product out there? There's a lot of coaches that teach different plans.
Right.
There's a lot of systems that set up plans. But to me, one of the things we talked about at lunch last week was about the legality behind it. We have Legacy members all over the world. So, they're in different states and different countries. So tell me a little bit about what makes Cash Practice different and makes it really the best product.
Great. Thanks. That's a great question to ask, and it really narrows the focus of what I want to say. And that is, there's a couple things that really strike me as what makes it so great. And as I mentioned in a prior segment, there's 4 segments to the Cash Practice systems. There's a wellness score for doing the wellness scores, okay,
Right.
for recommending objective findings. We're showing the objective findings. There's the cash plan calculator for creating the cash plans, the auto debit system for doing auto debits, and the drip ed for doing email. Any one of those systems in of itself is pretty powerful, but it's the combination of the 4. It's like when you put it all together, it becomes a cohesive package. So
Right.
there's nothing else in our industry that does everything we do. I've seen, now it's been 10 years since I started Cash Practice, and I've seen companies come and go, and I'm sure you've seen many companies in our industry come and go, and I've seen things show up. Like I remember there was a period of time where I saw for a while someone advertising another way of creating cash plans out there or financial plans, and I saw them advertise for a while, they showed up and then they disappeared. So there's been a couple fly-by-night things that have come by. So what makes us unique is, and you bring up the legality thing, and that is there's a couple areas of legalities, and we don't have time to get into all the details, but there's 2 areas I want to address, and that is with the cash plans and then with the auto debits, the payments. With the cash plans or the financial plans, you got to realize you can't just do what your buddy down the street does. There's so many things that you have to be aware of when it comes to compliance of setting up plans. Not just your state board, not just your state laws, but you got the federal laws as well. And so many doctors say, well, my state board says it's fine, and it's legal in California according to this and that. But then you look at the OIG for the federal government, it's like, oh, what you're doing is not legal.
Right.
So what I can say is that we've put together a plan that is legal in all those aspects. We've consulted with attorneys. We have a board of advisors who advise us, who are compliance experts in our industry, as well as we've submitted our plans in California to the California Department of Managed Care for the review by the attorneys there. We've also partnered with a third-party company called Cairo Health USA, and their purpose is to make sure you're being compliant with the way you discount your services. And that's probably the biggest area doctors are running serious risks, is the way they're discounting their services.
Right.
They don't realize how much hot water they can get themselves into. Right. And so what Cash Practice is, we've partnered with them to make sure our members are doing everything correct. The other, the other area from the standpoint of compliance is credit card processing, when I meant the auto debit system. A lot of doctors will do auto debits, and they'll do it the old-fashioned way. They'll have a book full of credit card numbers, and they'll ask their CA to sit at the computer or at the terminal once a month or twice and type in credit card numbers. We did that 10 years ago as well, because it was not a problem to do it. But first of all, CAs hate doing it because it's a lot of work, it's a pain in the butt, it's prone to mistakes. Secondary, it's not legal anymore. So doctors, if you have this practice where you're having staff keep credit card numbers on file, it's not a legal practice. And the last thing I want to say about from the standpoint of compliance is I'll just share a little tidbit of, from the standpoint, since we're on the subject of legalities and compliance, there's a way that doctors, and I want to just share this, it's not really unique to Cash Practice, but it's something we solve for you. And that, doctors, you're not aware of this right now most likely, and that is you are prone to significant theft from your practice. If you're using a credit card terminal in your practice, a credit card machine, and if I wanted to steal from you, and I was a CA working for you, or whoever, it doesn't even matter who, and I knew that you weren't real diligent about checking your merchant accounts and your statements per se, I could swipe my credit card or my friend's credit card or my family member's credit card for refunds all day long, and you'd have no idea I was doing it, and I'd go to the ATM and pull that money out, and I bring this up, and I would be able to actually extract money from your account as if it was an ATM machine.
Right.
And I bring this up because I know numerous doctors who've had tens of thousands of dollars embezzled from them doing that. So that's just as a side note. Cash Practice solves that because our system doesn't allow that kind of activity to occur. So there's a lot of benefits, and I want to keep this short, but there's a ton of reasons.
No, it's brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant. Dr. Miles and I spent a really quality time together recently, having a great lunch and connecting about Cash Practice and bringing this to the Legacy members. And he brought up several points to me that we just discussed that I wasn't even aware of. And that's why people like Dr. Miles Bodson are so important to chiropractic, because he takes a vested interest in helping our profession. And certainly when we run a business, we want it to be profitable. And Dr. Miles is doing great with Cash Practice. And in fact, that's his full-time job now is running Cash Practice and getting it out to as many practice members for him as possible. But he also has a genuine interest in what we as a profession, the message that we're putting out as a profession, making sure that the things we do are ethical and morally, set up the right way and legally set up to protect the chiropractor, but also protect our image as a profession.
Absolutely.
And make sure that people know that chiropractors are primary care providers. And yeah, we might not be as big as Kaiser or Scripps or some of these massive hospitals, but chiropractors are on the move getting their message out. And the more things that Dr. Miles can help your practice grow. And we know we send out separate newsletters and separate emails at Constant Contact, and we have maybe our auto debit system through somebody else, and maybe the plans through someone else. But Dr. Miles Cash Practice brings it all together to streamline it and make it easy for you. It's why we're going with Cash Practice in our office, and Dr. Miles is getting us set up with all those systems, and his people and team are fantastic. So thank you again. We will continue on our interview, and we'll see you guys on the next segment.